It has been absolutely a sleepless night. Ukrainians watched all the news, hardly could fall asleep. Then air siren went on. Missiles were flying, ballistic and drones flying around all Ukraine. Very emotional and hard night and morning for all of us. But for us, it's also a moment of unity, because this is the moment of truth. Unfortunately, we see that American leadership at this stage doesn't want to accept the real names of the reality, or wants to play a game shifting the names. But for Ukrainians, it is not acceptable. So for us, it's the moment when we understand that we need to continue fighting, not only with weapons, but also for truth, because it looks like now it's the moment when someone wants to rewrite the history and stop calling aggressor an aggressor, and this is not acceptable.
Lisa, you heard President Trump say Zelensky's hatred for Putin is getting in the way of the deal, and given what Putin has done to Ukraine, you could hardly blame him if it's true. What is your read on Donald Trump's relationship with the Russian president?
Well, I think Trump, once he was elected and even before, one of his main goals is actually now to show that he can make a deal with Putin and to show that he is much stronger than Putin. And yesterday, President actually shows maybe for some part of his surrounding that they are doing very well for Americans first motto. But in fact, internationally, Trump didn't look so strong, which means that Putin is actually happy that United States are not in a stable position. So for us, we understand long term that if Trump wants to make some friends with Putin at this stage, no matter what the interest is, long term, he's not going to win. And Putin, I'm sure he was smiling all these night and morning, just because he's enjoying seeing how people who are in other continents are fighting with each other. He likes it because at this moment he gains his power over everyone.
Trump said that Zelensky doesn't even want a ceasefire. But is it as simple as that? Because we heard Zelensky say a ceasefire without security assurances would not work, considering how many times Putin has violated ceasefire agreements in the past.
Exactly. We are not ready for this ceasefire without security guarantees. So the reason why Zelensky went to Washington, went to see Trump, is to sign the deal that Ukrainians also hope that would include at least a conversation and reassurance on the security guarantees. Instead, we've heard that we need to accept the ceasefire, but we know that every ceasefire that we ever had over the last 10 years was broken by Russians. They don't care. So what is the sense of signing something that we don't believe in? And we want to be heard. We are not a victim. We are in a position of truth and reality. Yes, we are paying a lot of price. We are all full of blood because people are dying. But ceasefire for the sake of just ticking the box that there were a few minutes of the ceasefire and next day they will start killing us again. No, this is not what we want. We want real security guarantees.
President Zelensky has directly and profusely thanked the American people in tweets and public statements after a public reprimand from the president and vice president yesterday for not being thankful enough. He has thanked America many times before. In fact, here he is yesterday after the meeting.
Do you think your relationship with Donald Trump, President Trump, after today, can be salvaged?
Yes, of course, because it's relations more than two presidents. It's the historical relations, strong relations between our people. And that's why I always began with to thank your people, from our people. And this is the most important. And of course, thankful to President and of course to Congress, but first of all to your people. Your people help to save our people.
How well do you think Zelensky is handling this situation now? What do you think it'll take to repair the relationship? Can it, must it be repaired?
You know, when I watch these words, and also I know how many messages I received myself today and this night from American people, this is very touching. I actually have tears in my eyes because I think our human hearts know the real truth, but for some political gambling with this idea of confusing who aggressor is, we Ukrainians and Americans are put in a situation to start having a polarization between each other. And this is actually Putin's goal. And this is against our interests. Historically, we were very close and always strategic partners. And we should focus now on not allowing all Russian propaganda and everyone who wants to break us and also our friendship to make it happen. Because Putin is doing it in every country now, inside different societies and between societies. And we have to be aware of that's his tactics and his strategy. So no matter what happens, we need to be very strong in our friendship.